Warriors, come out to play. I'm pretty sure this band has probably heard that a million times, but hey, I get to do it for my video. What's up, everyone? It's your boy, Matt Diazable, coming at you with some new music reviews. Thank you for finding my channel. Thank you for watching, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And today I am checking out the latest album from the Warriors called Burn Yourself Alive. If you've never heard of this band, or maybe you've heard of another band with this name, because there's a few of them with this name, but the Warriors are a hardcore punk band based out of California and have been a band since about 2002. And they've put out a collection of albums, I think at least maybe 4 to 5 albums. They've had a very inconsistent career in terms of like being very active and very inactive, releasing music, not releasing music for a long time. And I think this is another stretch where, their last album that came out in 2019, something Monolith. I'm really bad with it right now off the top of my head. But yeah, it came out in 2019. So it's been like a 6-year gap. And I think the album before that, there was like a 5-year gap. So they really take their time in terms of making music. But they have been one of the staples in California hardcore for a long time, since like 2002. I discovered this band probably when I first got into hardcore back in like 2008, 2009. And I think that they had that really big album back in the day called This Is War. Very, very, very popular album amongst the hardcore community. And they're probably one of the OGs when it comes to like modern 2000s hardcore band that a lot of people cite as like an influence, or they really look up to them. So got to give up respects to some of the modern OGs here in the Warriors. And with this latest album, Burn Yourself Alive, the Warriors return with a record that feels more, well, not really like a comeback, but more like a powerful evolution. This record is filled with raw emotions, and a lot of those emotions are based around, life's highs and lows, dealing with personal loss and finding newfound responsibilities in life. And I would say the band is channeling those experiences with some sounds here that are very familiar and at the same time fresh. With this band and this album, you can definitely tell that the fire that is inside them that, burns brightly for the hardcore scene is very essential and very strong with this record. Musically, I would say the backbone of this record is straight up grooviness. They're delivering thick and heavy riffs here that just throb with gritty intensity. Tracks like Warriors, Wrecking Crew, and Teeth really showcase that murky and very densely sludgy weight that they're bringing with this album. And it's not just like physically, but it's also sonically heavy, and it's locking in with some really heavy drumming that just sounds very relentless. So I want to play a clip of Teeth so you get a sense of just that murky heaviness that they're bringing with these tracks.
Tell me what's the measure of a man? If you're the judge, I'm burning the stand. Judge me, jury, I'm burning the stand.
That weight and groove is so good. Yet also the album also explores some more cleaner production, like on songs My Blood and Shock and Awe, where I would say the guitars really cut through the production and really give it a very sharper definition, while the bass sounds very like vibrant on these tracks. And these tracks create a very dynamic contrast that really helps keeps the listener engaged throughout the whole album. So I want to play a clip of Shock and Awe so you can see how they switch it up a little bit with some cleaner guitar playing here to keep the overall listening experience quite engaging.
Overwhelming over the top, pure truth to make your jaw drop.
The production on those guitars are clean. The drumming on this record definitely needs some special praise here because it's very precise, impactful, and consistently it drives the album forward. Whether it's the snappy snare drumming sound on Foreign Pain or the aggressive pounding sound on High Desert Heat, the precision from the drums really holds the album's energy all together here and just really gives it a very tight control feel. So I want to play a clip of the song High Desert Heat So you get a sense of just that tightness and control the drums here have here, and just how commanding they can sound. So very tight. Vocally, the album is a showcase for range and control because they have a mix of raw aggression with some good clarity, channeling some very politically like urgency when it comes to the song Drowning, or in like I want to say employing some really good shouting gang vocals on the song Perfidia. I think it's called Perfidia. But there's a nice range in terms of like all the vocal like patterns from backing vocals, main vocalists that they're doing here that they're exploring very nicely. And occasionally the band adds some nice melodic or punk infused like drum patterns that, really like give the album some emotional depth to it and some variety. And a good example of that is on the song Still on a Tightrope Walk. There's a lot of diversity there in terms of its sonic sound. However, despite all these strengths, Burn Yourself Alive is not without its shortcomings. Some of the tracks kind of like tread familiar ground and kind of feel a bit by the numbers at times, especially in some of the breakdowns and the overall song structures. When the grooves are really solid, there's moments like on My Blood and Still on a Tightrope Walk. Occasionally, they lean kind of towards a safer, almost like uninspired territory in their sound. And in these moments, it's lacking some visceral spark that powers the other more best moments on this album. I think the production's murkiness, while is quite intentional, it sometimes can make the bass and the riffs feel a little bit muddled and or indistinctive, like you can't tell them apart. And so it kind of detracts from the overall impact of the album. Actually, a few of the songs on here kind of start off a little bit flat or a little bit hollow. One in particular is the song Those Who Know Why. And so on this track, it requires a lot of patience as they build up to something more dynamic. They're really good at sticking the landing on a lot of their songs, but a few of the songs, how they start off, they're not that very inspiring. So this unevenness when it comes to the pacing can slow down the momentum of the album, when I think this album really thrives best when it's very intense and it just goes, goes, goes. Like that's where the album and the band shine the best. However, I won't say that, these issues really overshadow the overall album's experience, because this album, Burn Yourself Alive, is still a very compelling record to listen to. Because it does a really good job of balancing out, groove and aggression, personal reflection and pure energy. It's got that for sure. That it's got a really good balance throughout the whole album. Overall, I would say the Warriors haven't really lost their edge when it comes to making hardcore music. They've just tempered it a little bit with experience and nuance and try to switch things up a little bit. So overall, this latest album from the Warriors, Burn Yourself Alive, I would give it a good and solid 7.5 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think. Some other good Californian hardcore bands, some other recommendations, your favorite Warriors song, your favorite Warriors album. Let's discuss. Like always, I'm Matt from Diazable. Thank you for coming on by, and see you in the pit. Good things about you.